This isn't just some simple motor we're talking about. It's a marvel of engineering combining physics, aerodynamics, and a good dash of ingenuity to transform fuel into the power necessary to lift tons of metal into the sky. It's a complex and fascinating process. Today we will explore the fascinating world of aircraft engines. An aircraft engine, like the human heart, is crucial for the functioning of the airplane. It's the lifeline, the beating heart of an aircraft, the powerhouse that breathes life into the metal bird, making it soar high above the clouds. Without the engine, the aircraft is just a shell, beautiful but motionless. The engine is responsible for creating thrust, a force that propels the airplane forward. In the world of aviation, there are two main types of engines that have played vital roles in making flights possible. The piston engines, the traditional workhorses of the sky, and the jet engines, the modern marvels that pushed the boundaries of speed and efficiency. Each has its own unique characteristics, its own strengths and weaknesses, and its own role to play in the history of flight. Without these engines, the dream of flight would remain just a dream. Let's dive in with the piston engine first, a technology that has been around since the dawn of aviation. Imagine the heart of a classic aircraft, the piston engine. It's a marvel of engineering, churning out power with rhythmic precision. It's an intricate dance of mechanics that springs to life every time the pilot turns the ignition key. The piston engine operates on a four-stroke cycle, a symphony of intake, compression, combustion, and exhaust. Let's break it down, shall we? First up, we have the intake stroke. Picture the piston moving down the cylinder. This movement creates a vacuum which sucks in a mixture of fuel and air through the open intake valve. That's your intake stroke. Next, we have the compression stroke. The intake valve closes. The piston moves back up the cylinder, compressing the air-fuel mixture. This compression makes the explosion more powerful, which we'll get to in a moment. The third stage is the combustion stroke. The spark plug ignites the compressed air-fuel mixture. The explosion forces the piston down the cylinder, creating power. This is where the magic happens, folks. This is how a piston engine generates power to turn the propellers. Finally, we have the exhaust stroke. The exhaust valve opens. The piston moves back up the cylinder, pushing out the spent gases. It's the engine's way of taking out the trash, so to speak. The propellers are connected to the engine via the crankshaft. Each combustion stroke turns the crankshaft, which in turn spins the propeller. It's a beautifully orchestrated dance of mechanics, with each component playing its part to perfection. And there you have it. The piston engine, a technology as old as aviation itself, continues to serve us reliably. It's a simple design, but don't let that fool you. The piston engine is a powerhouse, capable of lifting aircraft off the ground and into the wild blue yonder. So that's a piston engine for you, simple yet effective. Now, let's accelerate into the future with jet engines. Jet engines, they're the future of aviation. They're not just about power and speed, they're about efficiency and reliability as well. Before we get too carried away, let's break down how these marvels of engineering work. Picture a jet engine as a high-speed air pump with four main stages: air intake, compression, combustion, and exhaust. Each stage has a unique role in propelling the aircraft forward. The air intake stage is pretty self-explanatory. As the aircraft moves forward, air is sucked into the engine. Think of it as the engine taking a deep breath before a sprint. Once the engine has its fill of air, we move on to the compression stage. Here, the incoming air is squeezed or compressed using several stages of rotating blades. This process increases the air's pressure and temperature, preparing it for the next stage. Now, we enter the combustion stage, the heart of the jet engine. This is where the magic happens. The compressed air is mixed with fuel and ignited. This produces a high-pressure and high-temperature gas. It's like creating a controlled explosion in the engine. Finally, we reach the exhaust stage. The high-pressure gas is expelled out of the back of the engine. Newton's third law of motion kicks in here. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. The force of the gas rushing out of the back propels the aircraft forward. The beauty of jet engines lies in their simplicity. They don't need pistons or gearboxes. They're just tubes that suck in air at one end and expel it at the other. Yet they're capable of propelling massive aircraft at incredible speeds. So, while the principles behind jet engines might seem straightforward, the engineering and precision that go into making them work are anything but simple. It's a fine balance of physics, chemistry, and mechanical engineering. That's the jet engine for you. Complex but incredibly powerful. Now that we know how both engines work, let's put them side by side. On the one hand, we've got the piston engine. This old workhorse is like the heart of a classic car, pumping away with a rhythm you can almost dance to. It's a mechanical marvel that's been with us since the dawn of aviation, and it's not going anywhere soon. These engines are reliable, easy to maintain, and relatively inexpensive, making them a favorite for small to medium-sized aircraft. Light aircraft and training planes often use piston engines because they provide a good balance of performance and economy. They're perfect for those short hops across the country where speed isn't the top priority. But on the other hand, we have the jet engine. This is the powerhouse behind the sleek silver birds that crisscross our skies at breathtaking speeds. Jet engines are all about power and performance. They're more complex than piston engines and require a higher degree of maintenance, but boy do they deliver. Jet engines are typically found on commercial airliners, military aircraft, and high-performance private jets. They're designed for high-speed, long-distance travel, and they excel in this role. The jet engine's ability to operate efficiently at high altitudes and speeds is a game-changer in the world of aviation. Now, it's not just about speed and power. There are other factors at play when choosing an engine. Things like fuel efficiency, noise levels, and environmental impact all come into the picture. Piston engines are generally more fuel efficient at lower speeds and altitudes, while jet engines are more efficient at high speeds and altitudes. And let's not forget about noise. Jet engines are significantly louder than piston engines. This might not matter much at 30,000 feet, but it's certainly a consideration for airports in populated areas. As you can see, each engine has its own strengths and weaknesses and is chosen based on the needs of the aircraft. So there we have it, a journey into the heart of an aircraft. We've explored the intricate workings of an aircraft engine, a marvel of engineering that powers our flights across the globe. We've delved into the role of pistons, those diligent components that convert fuel into the force that propels the aircraft forward. We've also taken a look at jet engines, the powerhouse of modern aviation, and how they've revolutionized air travel with their efficiency and speed. We compared the pros and cons of piston and jet engines, understanding that each has its place in the aviation world. Piston engines, with their simplicity and efficiency at lower altitudes, are perfect for smaller aircraft. Jet engines, on the other hand, are the preferred choice for larger aircraft, providing speed and power for long-haul flights. But the story of the aircraft engine doesn't end here. As we look to the future, we see the potential of electric and hybrid technologies. These new technologies promise to make aviation cleaner and more sustainable, reducing the industry's carbon footprint and paving the way for a greener future.